This is something that is going to revolutionize your gardens, your vegetables, your grass, every plant in your landscape. Compost tea brewer. This is going to be a two-part program. So the first part is going to be basically just making the brewer, okay? Then we'll come back and show you how to make the compost tea. First thing you're going to need is a 5-gallon bucket, which I already went ahead and marked it out. 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallon, 4 gallon, and 5 gallon, okay? So you're definitely going to need a 5-gallon bucket. You are going to need your drill. Gotta have the drill. I got a 1-inch bit in here, just a paddle bit. So you're gonna need the paddle bit. Gotta have a marker, mark things up. We need a tape measure. Handy dandy tape measure, you definitely wanna have that. Okay guys? Next thing you're gonna want is you're going to want a conduit lock nut. There's 2 in a package. You're gonna want a pack of these, okay? Because we are going to put a faucet, spigot, on our bucket. This is gonna, you'll see what I'm talking about when we do it. This is great. Along with that, you're going to need 2 rubber washers. I went ahead and got, this is, I think this is a 1/4-inch tubing, okay? It's probably about a 3/16, 1/8 inch to a 3/16 on the ID, 1/4-inch tubing, okay? Gonna want that clear tubing. You are going to want a fitting that's gonna go from a 1/4 inch to 3/8, or I should say 3/16 to 3/8. And that will fit in the inside of it, okay? And that's going to be a barbed fitting. This is what it's going to look like. This is a 3-foot section that I cut out. I'll show you how we're going to do that later. Definitely going to need the 2-stage or double outlet fish pump. This is what's going to aerate your compost tea. You have got to aerate. You've got to get those microorganisms growing, and this is the key. You've got to have air to the system, okay? Now, I went ahead and I've got a 1-inch square block of maple, put a hook on this, show you how this is going to work a little bit later, put a couple notches on it so it fits right on top of our bucket. That later, 1/2-inch bolts right here, and the 5/8 goes right on this, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this later. Okay? Got some washers. What you're going to need is you're going to want 9/16-inch washers. 9/16, and we're going to go with 2, 4, 6, get 8 of them. 8 of them is going to work perfectly. You guys, this is my diffuser. This is how I'm making it. You can get the stones and put them in there. It's just going to cost you extra, but you can get 50 feet of this from a big box store, and it's costing you $8. And a lot of times I have this stuff laying around my house. So this is 3/8-inch ID, okay? So you're going to want the soaker hose. This is going to be our diffuser. This is where it's at, okay guys? Then, of course, you're going to need zip ties. I have 3 zip ties, and that's going to go along with the soaker hose at the end here. Last but not least, you're going to need the 1-gallon strainer bags, paint strainer. We're going to go ahead and drill out our bucket. So I went ahead and marked it at the bottom, and I marked it so this is going, the spigot's going to go here, but if I were to put the bucket down, the spigot will not hit the bottom or hit a table. So I am just up, probably I'd say 1 inch, 1.5 inches off the table. So let's go ahead and drill that right now. Get right in here. The liquid sealer right along the whole edge, and then tighten this in, screw this in to this, and put the sealer around it. I'm going to let it dry. Now what I did on the inside is virtually the same. I used the conduit connector inside to the lock nut washer, and I used 2 pieces of the rubber washers and tightened those down, but I also used the liquid nail silicone in there, and I'm going to let that dry, and I can guarantee it's not going to be leaking. I've got the pump. It's a double-stage pump, so that means there's going to be 2 of these hoses, 3 feet long, that's all I did, going into each one. So it'll be one going to one. I'm making 2 separate ones, so I'm going to have 2 buckets going at the same time. You can make a diffuser where both of these tubes go into the same diffuser, but I'm going to do 2 separate ones. So right now, what we'll do, you're going to want to cut about a 42-inch, you're going to want a 42-inch piece of this soaker hose. These products, everything that I've got here is not expensive at all. You can go to your local hardware store. I like doing things local, which is great. Now this piece of wood, you're going to ask, what do you do with this? All this is I cut a couple notches out of here. A little bit on the crude side of the notches, and I put a little hook here. That's going to hold our bag. That's going to hold the paint sprayer bag with all our compost in it and all our other ingredients. All that's going to do is going to go right on top of here. That's going to hold it central in the bucket. We don't want it to go to one side or the other. That's the only reason I'm doing it, is because I want it to be centralized, and I want the air to flow underneath it, all around it. I want the bubbles to move around this whole, all of our compost. So, the next thing, afterward, let's see, soaker hose, don't need that anymore. Box, that's empty. Tubing, I already cut the tubing, so we don't need this anymore. Let's see here. Knife, don't want to throw that, could hurt somebody. This don't want to throw, 10 bucks, don't want to break it. You're wondering what's with the washers and what's with the bolt at the end. Well, here's the key, guys. This is to weight it down. Weighting it down keeps it at the bottom. But that's not the only kicker. What I found is these washers hold it away from the edge of the bucket when it's inside the bottom. And then this bolt holds it to the bottom. It just adds extra weight. It works awesome. It keeps it off the bottom, keeps it away from the sides of the bucket, and the bubbles just come all around. Well, doing the whole pretzel shape, this is where teeny tiny zip ties come in. This is awesome. It keeps the tube out of the sediment, if there is any sediment, and it keeps it off the bottom of your bucket. Boom, there it is. That's your diffuser. Going to go into your bucket of water, and it's going to look like this when it's all set. This is what we look like inside. This top here is going to go in. It's going to hold your compost bag, and then you've got your compressor that we just plug this into. Boom, that's it, guys. Compost tea. But I'm going to go ahead, fill this with water, show you that it doesn't leak over here, and show you how the bubbles are working. This is an awesome project. If you haven't done it, haven't researched it, you got to do it. You will love it. If you're a gardener and you don't want the disease, you want the microorganisms, you want your plants to flourish, get big, juicier, this is the way to do it. This is the fish pump, the compost brewer, and it is bubbling away, and it is working phenomenal. You guys have got to try this. Look at all those bubbles. Just unbelievable. This is what I'm talking about. You've got the bubbles coming from the bottom, not against the sides, but all around it, up through the middle. Now we'll go ahead and we'll do a video on how we're gonna compost the extra tea, make the recipe. And you guys, this is it. If you haven't done it, get out, get dirty, and do it.